everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more Expanse finally with episode 7 of season 4. It is called A Shot in the Dark. Full spoilers if you've not seen this episode. Now in retrospect that I've waited so long to be doing these, I really almost feel like I should have just done one big review. Because the more that this goes on, it just feels like structurally this is really just one big movie. And there's not as much really to talk about as I have in past seasons. That's not a knock on the show. I just kind of feel like almost as if, because I know this is based on the next book. So either the next book in the series, after season 3, just has this kind of pace, or the 4th book in the series just really, I don't know. It's hard to please everybody. And after the huge story that encompassed season 1, 2, and 3, living up to that on a new channel and everything, since they aren't just making this up as they go along, I'm sure there are things that are left out and new things put in, like all adaptations. It just doesn't feel like it has the same, like there's a lot of stakes. They just don't feel, I guess I'm having a hard time caring as much as I did the first 3 seasons. Now, that doesn't mean I don't care about our core group of characters. I really do. I just care very little about the Belters in this season and in the RCS people at all in that section of it. We kind of just keep going through the same thing with the Belters and the RCS. The Inners hate the Belters hate the Inners, and now we're trapped with them. I kind of feel like that show Avenue 5, where it's a bunch of people trapped in space in close quarters together, and this is it, everybody. You either like it or you don't. Like, it's a nightmare. And honestly, like Avenue 5, this is kind of a nightmare situation. I'm not really enjoying myself as much as I have previous seasons. That is not a knock on the actors. That is not a knock on the production. It's just, this is the continuing Belters, storyline, mixed in with the politics that are on it with Avasarala. Now, her storyline to me, with her trying to save her presidency or, her position of power on Earth, really doesn't interest me. I like her as a character. I like the decisions that she's making about our other story. I don't particularly care for the whole young versus, like she's the older generation and the younger generation trying to, prove that they could do better storyline. I'm not as big as, I don't really care about that part of the story. Plus, this episode has no Bobby in it, which is a little bit of a bummer, because I think what this show, like this episode needed was another thing going on, because I'm just not as invested as I used to be in the events of the show. Now, maybe that's because I've been taking my time more, but honestly, since this show started in December, right? If you go 7 weeks later, I'd be just about around this time, maybe on episode 8 or 9 by now, I don't know. But if this was dropped week to week, I don't know how I'd feel. But all I know is that everything is paced so slowly. It just seemed like there was always more going on. And it's not to say that there aren't things going on in this episode. It's just more of the same. Like, we're just slowly nudging this story towards the end of it. And that's a lot of shows, but this particularly, I'm just, I'm not liking it. I'm just not liking it on the same level that I did the first 3 seasons. So, that being said, I did love that very first shot where they have the planet, and then on one side you get that moon that's fine, and then the other one you got the moon that's turning red. And we've got everybody taking stock of the situation. There's no leaks, that are of concern down on the planet, even though it's like they're all surrounded by water now. And they still don't have fusion power. This whole episode, none of those things get resolved. I feel like in the first 3 seasons, things were clipping more. Like, oh, problem, we have a problem in this episode, we solve it, we move on to the next thing. There might be another problem, but we continually fix things and we move on. This, it's like, a long bottle episode where our group is just stuck in one place. Each of our groups. So you got the bottle episode going on in the Rossi. You got the bottle episode happening on the planet. You got the bottle episode happening with Bobby. And you got the bottle episode happening with avasarala. So even though there's 4 distinct plots going on, they all feel really tight and contained. And it's, I don't know, like I said, it's part of the books, right? When the Belter leader comes up to Holden, she's like, "Oh, we're still at the mercy of you and your invisible friend," and all I could think of was, "Well, you could be dead." That's all I'm saying. I mean, he could have just said, "You know what, guys? Let's just take ourselves and hide in this thing by ourselves and let all the Belters and the RCS people die." I had a little gratitude to Holden for saving your life. The eye infections are getting worse, and Mercury's preparing for the worst, for the lack of supplies, which is meaning, we're going to end up having to fight these people, which is basically the same thing that Amos tells her later, where he's like, we're going to have to, she tells him, basically what Mercury repeated to her is, in different words, we're going to have to kill some of these people, and Amos is just like, yeah, that's what always happens. But, as far as Avasarala's story goes, I mean, she has to sit and watch herself apologize, which is happening behind me here. Does it ever seem to you guys that the actress who plays her, I forget, I can check this, her name, I always forget it because it's like really kind of, Shorey Agdashlu. I don't like to say her real name because it's a tongue twister for me, and does anybody ever else feel like when she talks, she's really straining to get the words out? I don't know if she is a former smoker or is a current smoker, but it just sometimes feels like she's, by the end of the sentence, it's almost like she's going to pass out. It just kind of worries me because she sounded like this from all the way back from when I can remember her in the first thing I saw her in. I remember she was in like one of the early seasons of 24, but she was in something else that I can't place right now. It's bothering me. But anyway, I love her, but like I said earlier, the politics at play here are boring to me. I know that like it's important to her character that she win, and and she's getting caught up in this, and she's hiring all these people. It's like a Marriage Story, right? With the Netflix movie, where everything should be fine, but then you bring in third parties and they just irritate you and make things worse. That's what I feel like she's saying about these people that she brings in to help her with her political career. And they say that Marco Anaris is supposed to be on this freighter, right? Everybody keeps looking at that picture of him on the freighter. To me, that just says they're wanting you to go in and make a mess of it, so that the OPA and Marcos, his little thing that's going on, will just make a fight more inevitable. The more mistakes they make by tricking them into thinking he's there and making them feel like they have to do something is just leading them closer to another war, which is what this son of a bitch wants. We find out that Holden is the only one that's not infected with this green algae that's like in everybody's eyes. To me, that says proto-molecule, even though Holden's like, I don't know, I don't have like a direct link, but I think he does. I just don't think he fully understands his link to Miller and at all. And Mercury again, that the only reason he helps the Belter out is because once he finds out that basically everybody's going to be blind, he's waiting this out. If they can, I even figure if he can get a cure, if they find out that there's a cure, he'd probably only cure himself and his own people, and then just wait and take it from these people. What are they going to do if they can't see, right? And he also plans on killing Holden. Now, I've been able to avoid spoilers for this show. The only spoiler I got was when my dad said, "Oh, that's how it ended? Oh, that's sad." But I didn't ask any further questions of what he meant by that. So I figure somebody's going to die, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is Holden. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But again, no spoilers for in the comments section. I'm just kind of waxing about this. Um, Dr. Elvie says that that Holden's not appreciating the position he's in, but come on, lady. It's like, she's saying, oh, you're in contact with an alien life. You should be, like proud. You should be like embracing that. And it's like, it makes me think of like Mulder on the X-Files when he's like, what would I really do if I was ever faced with an alien life form? Would I greet it with open arms, or would I, reel in terror? So it's easy to say, hey, you'd appreciate this thing unless you're actually experiencing it. They want this little girl to make a 1 kilometer long tether. The first thing I thought was, how much time do you think you guys got to make a 1 kilometer tether? At least the little girl, at least they're smart enough to bring that up. Like, do you think we got time to do that? Like, the only other part of that scene that I didn't like is that as soon as she saw her mom, she's like, I don't want to talk to her. And I'm like thinking, shut up. It's a life or death situation. Take what you can get, you dumb little bitch. Pardon my French. And this whole thing basically is about profits from Mercury. But then they find out that through this guy, one of the RCS tries to drown one of the Belters because his friend died. And they find out that there's all these deadly slugs all over the inside of this place. And I don't know what they do, but as soon as they touch you, you die. So, if you thought the green infection was bad, this is worse. And then, just like I said, Avasarala sends in her Marines, and it backfires. And now they have lost contact with the people that they sent. So, like I said, big old trap. Shot in the dark. I'd rather watch the old Peter Sellers version of that movie, A Shot in the Dark, anyway. That's this episode. I am going to be doing an episode a day for the next, until we're done. So we'll be done with the Expanse Season 4 by Monday. And then I plan on trying to get back to normal with the regularly scheduled reviews once this is over. So, if you like this little discussion on The Expanse Season 4, Episode 7, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber and you are enjoying the content, please become a subscriber. I apologize for all the lateness, but if you've been watching any of my other videos, my anxiety has just basically taken over my life. And it's been very hard for me to get back on track. And I'm trying slowly but surely to work that out. So, anyway, this is Rob saying you can find me at Twitter at reviews_gun. Otherwise, keep watching The Expanse, guys. I can't wait to hear more about what's going on. I can't wait to finish this. I can't wait till we find out when Season 5's coming out. So, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.